It's Monday, November 21st, 2016, and I'm pleased to bring you today's edition of the local news. In the news, Suriname is ready to enter the export market in CARICOM. First public debate on the rights of the indigenous people was held. Tourists guide receives badges and passports. Monsignor Aloysius Sichem was laid to rest. The Minister of Trade and Industry presided over quoted meeting in Guyana. I'm Susan Maynard and your local news begins now. Suriname is ready to enter the export market in CARICOM, a challenge that applies to both the private and public sectors, says Gilbert van Dijk, director of the Suriname Business Development Center, SBC. The Export Readiness Program, conducted from July 2015, together with the Ministries for Trade and Industry, Justice and Police, Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries, Finance, and Foreign Affairs. 11 companies have worked on the export to Trinidad and Tobago and Barbados. It was decided on Trinidad and Tobago and Barbados because of three strategic reasons, says Director Gilbert van Dijk. We don't have to look for faraway markets as we belong to the CARICOM. 11 agri-food companies that participated in the trade mission to Trinidad and Tobago and Barbados have attracted buyers for their products. Companies like Fernandez Bakery and Ice Cream, Tropical Trade and Industries, NFE, Hom Food Industries, NFE, will export next year. It is the Ministry of Commerce and Industry's job to facilitate. Even though the companies have done their work, says Reina Ravales, Director of Trade and Industry, in the Export Readiness Program, only agri-food companies have participated up till now. The director wants continuation of the program by training other sectors for export. Nevertheless, work has still to be done on some conditions so the export can go flawless. The problems within the exports have already been identified by the Suriname Business Development Center. The government should do its part. The first public debate on the rights of indigenous people was held among students of the Anton de Kom University, with support from the director and coordinators of the university. This debate should lead to a greater awareness among Surinamese youngsters. In July 2016, the Association of Indigenous Village Leaders, FITS, started with a national awareness campaign on the rights of indigenous people. This campaign, Shared or Divided Autonomy Within Limits, involves not only to bringing attention of the international verdicts, but also organizing debates. The ultimate aim of the awareness campaign is that the national legislation is adjusted, says Lorraine Jubitana, Director of FITS, and Emmanuel Scheek, representative of the Students' Board of the ADEC University. Next year, activities are scheduled on this matter, including a debate with MPs and an expert meeting. Tourist guides in Suriname get a badge and a passport recognizable for tourists. The introduction and presentation took place last Friday in the Residence Inn Paramaribo. With these badges and passports, guides are now able to better present themselves to tourists. It is important to professionalize the tourism sector in Suriname to be able to comply with international standards. Friday, attendees were informed about the steps that have been taken recently to improve tourism in Suriname. It is necessary that some issues here are made in order to be able to realize more. The plants and animals in Suriname are very attractive for tourists, and there's also an increase in the number of visitors to our country. But there are still points that need to be addressed, including the making legislation and regulation for the industry. With the impetus now to provide badges and passports to tourist guides, they are working now on structuring. But even then, the various stakeholders encounter problems regarding order at the policy level. On Friday, some of the guides have been provided with badges and passports. With registration model, all other guides will first be screened to be subsequently identified. This development is to ensure that regulation is better established. And according to STS, tourism in Suriname will increasingly take shape, making catching up with the international market shorter. In a crowded Basilica Cathedral, the funeral of Monsignor Aloysius Sichem was held yesterday. The Monsignor passed away on November 13th at the age of 83 years. On February 7, 1970, Sichem was ordained bishop and has served the Roman Catholic community for more than 32 years with love and devotion as bishop of the Diocese of Paramaribo. He had also been the first bishop of Suriname's descent. On December 31, 2002, he suffered a stroke. His resignation was then submitted to the ecclesiastical authorities in Rome, and in 2003, he was honorably discharged. As Bishop of Paramaribo, Monsignor Sichem had committed himself with heart and soul as the righteous man to the Surinamese society. Monsignor Sichem was a caring shepherd for all, had always had compassion, and was fully committed to the preservation of justice, peace, and harmony in the country which was so dear to him. During this special funeral service, several speakers spoke over and over again about how important the commitment was of Monsignor Sichem in Suriname. On behalf of the management and staff of the Suriname Television Foundation, sent the condolences to the family and society as a whole with this loss. The Ministry of Trade and Industry, HI, Siglin Burleson, led the 43rd quoted meeting. The Council for Trade and Economic Development was held in Guyana from November 14 to 18. The minister, as chairman of the meeting, addressed the Minister of Trade of the CARICOM and their delegations. Quoted is the Council for Economic Development and Trade-Related Issues. In her opening speech, the minister stressed the need for collaboration. On the agenda were issues which should lead to growth and development in the trade and economy in the region. The minister stressed that the challenges facing the region, like the need to improve the productivity and exports, can best overcome by working together and by strengthening regional institutes and organizations. She also indicated that the private sector is driving force of the market and doing business in a country. She therefore considers that the time for the region has come to true partnership between the public and private sector achieve economic prosperity. Barriers such as denial of access to the markets should be a thing of the past if the members of CARICOM want to promote economic integration, says Burleson. However, she said to be sure that through goodwill, natural cooperation, and support, all the issues can be addressed. These are requirements that will ensure the success of economic growth of this trading bloc. That concludes our local news for today. Thank you for joining us. Until tomorrow.